Fighting over which parts of the book were true and which parts were fictionalized. Leah made enough money to buy a nice apartment in an upmarket part of town and a cabin in the mountain of Telemark too. In spite of all this success, Leah was a nervous, fragile shell of a woman back then, someone who winced when our eyes met, or if I asked her a question she didn't know how to answer. Her sentences would begin with, "I'm sorry," or "I know this is stupid," or "This is so ridiculous," but she didn't trust herself back then. But she came to trust me, and eventually herself. As we began to build our therapeutic relationship, a wide array of underlying problems emerged, squirming in the room between us like worms coiling out of the earth. Leah cut herself, and had been doing it since her early teens. She once pulled up the sleeves of her jumper to reveal row upon row of neat incisions, some fresh and pink, many old and white. She had a highly complicated relationship with food, alternating between binging and starving herself, sometimes for weeks on end, and until she'd black out. She suffered from debilitating panic attacks and terrifying compulsive thoughts, sometimes suicidal. She was always quick to reassure me that her suicidal thoughts were without intent, and I would point out that they were just thoughts. At the beginning, Leah spent many sessions just staring emptily into the space between us, and I would let her be, without any prompts at all. Occasionally she'd look up, her startled hazel eyes meeting mine before scanning the room, as though she momentarily had no idea where she was. Over time, I watched as Leah grew stronger. In the therapy room she made great progress too. It's always incredible when a client comes to therapy at the right time, with the right therapist, and that is what I believe happened for us. Layers of conditioning and trauma and deeply buried pain and untruths peel away, revealing a vulnerable but very strong person underneath. It's powerful to watch and become part of. Though she has significantly battled with writing a follow-up to Nobody over the past year, she hasn't regressed to the chaotic, destructive state of when she first came to therapy. She's a very grateful client, one who often makes a point of saying that it's all because of me that things are getting better. But I like to say that I only hold the mirror. She's the one that looks into it. I boil the water for our tea and rearrange the tea bags fanning out in the dish on the low table. I make sure there are 2 of each flavour and that they are laid out by colour. It's interesting how some clients will choose a different tea each time, whereas some will always have the same one. Leah doesn't always choose one at all, arriving with a takeaway coffee from Cafe Brenaria across the road. Other times she chooses a green tea with lemon. It's 2:05, and still no Leah. Unusual. She is extremely punctual, and I actually can't recall a time when she wasn't sitting in the waiting room when I opened the door at 2 on the dot. I check again, though I would have heard the door open, and the room is still empty. Outside heavy rain is falling, and slick orange leaves stick to the window panes. October always makes me feel both withdrawn and a little wistful, though I've never known why. Perhaps it has to do with the beauty of the decay, how intoxicating it is to observe all the death around us. This year is worse than ever. So much has changed, so much loss. All I want for this weekend is to shut myself away in the house with Eric, lying across from him on the sofas, reading and sipping a rich, dark Malbec, occasionally looking up to meet his eyes and smiling. This weekend is going to be far removed from that gentle domestic dream, and I feel tired in advance just at the thought of it. Tonight I will be supporting my husband at a gala dinner at the Prime Minister's residence. I feel a nervous ache in my stomach at the thought, but then who wouldn't? Then tomorrow we are visiting my sister and her young family in Jorbak for the rest of the weekend, which is lovely but hardly a relaxing time. 2:10 and still no Leah. I bring